Hello and welcome, this is Mousegunner, and we're back with some more of the Beast and Exploration DLC for Battle Brothers. We are currently escorting a caravan, nice quick job for a little bit of cash, which we are in sore need of at the moment. So let's continue. Oh, okay, so we have this coming up. It falls to you, the commander, to see the company succeeds not just on the battlefield, but also in fame and riches. And so you spend the evenings pondering about a bigger plan for the cursed, in your tent while the men talk and laugh around the fire. You're never going to become a legend simply by chasing brigands and doing small-time contracts. What do you proclaim to the men the company will set out to do? Alright, so we get to choose our next little objective for ourselves. So this one we've seen before. This is just to get 2,000 crowns so we could get a battle standard. This would be good for us. It is a polearm weapon, which is something that we use with a couple of our guys, so that is something we could definitely use. Another choice here is to find a camp and destroy it. And then our last one is one I've mentioned before. This is where you're going to be traveling to every location. I don't think we're even halfway towards doing this one. So in that regard, of the ones that are more achievable, I think I just spied how much our gold was. We were at 400. This is technically achievable, but it'd take a little bit of time. This we could do. A lot depends on what we can find, obviously, because you have to go out and find the camp. This is not, I think, linked to any contracts. I don't think if you get a contract to go attack a camp, it will also get this achievement, but I'm not 100% on that, to be totally honest with you. I think the spirit of this is you go and find it on your own initiative. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that one because I think it's the most achievable out of these ones. This is probably the next one I would choose in the line, but again, we're just right now we're not that close to 2,000 gold, and there may be other priorities like, are we still in a good spot as far as food, tools, things like that? I'm not so sure. So let us do this one. Anyway, we're beast and exploration. We need to go out and explore and kill some beasts. So that's what we'll do. So, oh, we've got some brigand hunters, but they're too small of a band. So, oh, okay. So it's not this town, but probably the next one over. It did just say a day's journey, and we have traveled about a day. Unfortunately, we are out of tools. That was something I mentioned I was a little concerned about. Okay, having reached Angoulême, the caravan's wagons are immediately unloaded and their goods taken to a nearby warehouse. Once it's all cleared out, the leader of the group hands you a satchel of crowns and thanks you for making sure their passage was a safe one, and they're also going to have well supplied. And usually that's the case whenever you do one of these caravan missions and you get there safely. Well, let's go into town and see what else is going on here. They were raided recently. Unfortunately, it's a 3-skull contract. I don't think we're ready for that. Because they are raided, this is actually going to probably counteract this. So there's going to be a lot of goods that came in on that cart, but because they were just raided, there's going to be a lot of goods that have been lost, and prices will probably be up correspondingly. Saying that, the food here is actually on the cheap end. And this is being sold for less than it's worth, and we know we can sell this in a town for a profit. So I'm going to pick... I mean, our money's going to be a little tight with this, but we don't have that long to travel. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Amber Shards, and it would be nice to have a little bit more food than what we have right now. And this is being sold for less than it's worth. Also, bandages is being sold for less than they're worth. I have to be careful how much money I'm spending here, though. Do we need bandages on anybody? Looks like we have bandages on all our guys. Another thing that has changed over time is this guy has gotten better. So we're going to go ahead and swap him back in because he's more experienced than this guy. This guy's going to be our kind of backup for the meantime. Now we could probably up your armor because you do have a little bit of fatigue to play with. So we could get rid of this and maybe upgrade to this or this. Let's go with this because you should be able to handle that. Fortunately, we don't have the tools to repair it, so that's really looking at that being a high priority for us. And now that we've done that, we can upgrade the armor of another man because the mail is going to be better than, for example, this. It is requiring more fatigue, so we're going to have to be careful on that. So I'm just looking around, seeing if any men have some room to spare. Not particularly finding anyone that is an obvious choice. At best, we're looking at 76, but this is a difference of 2, so I may just hold on to this for the meantime, but it's going to be a definite upgrade for us. Yeah, I think that was a good call. Hopefully we can get some better body armor for this guy as well, because he does still have fatigue to play around with, but for the meantime, he's got a better helmet, and that's what matters. Of course, the trick is we have to actually be able to repair it, which I cannot buy tools here. It's too expensive. We already bought our food. I don't think there's anything else I want to buy here. Again, the bandages is a good price, so it's tempting to buy it. But let me look at... Yeah, I think we just leave here. So we're going to go up to Berkahane. I think I remember them having good prices last time we went. Now, I can guarantee you, well, not guarantee, but more than likely that Three Skull contract was dealing with that raid. But yeah, we're not ready for that. We can take 2 Skull contracts, and I think that's kind of the limit of our difficulty at the moment. Beyond that, I would say it's too dangerous. Yeah, the gold is worth it, but if you lose a lot of men in the process, you're actually losing more money than you're gaining oftentimes. We do have a 2 Skull contract here. Nothing indicating what it could be, though. Could just be a simple travel contract, so it is worth taking a look at it. Let's go to the marketplace first, though, because if I remember correctly, these do sell for pretty good here. Yeah, they do. So we're going to make a little bit of profit. Money is still tight. They do sell peat bricks here, but they're selling them for more than they're worth, so that's not a good price for me. Tools are in desperate need, but unfortunately they're selling them for way more than they're worth. We really need to find a town where tools are affordable. Well, because cash is such a desperate situation. Wow, did we burn through that food that quickly? I just bought a bunch of food, and we're well below. Maybe some food went bad. That could have been the case. Well, let's see what that contract is, because... Okay, Rabe, the treasurer's got his feet up on his table when you enter. He puts his hands behind his head, looking at a little too relaxed for your taste. Good tidings, Captain. Well, I'd say you take leave from all the killing and dying. He raises an eyebrow at your response, which is precisely none at all. Huh? I figured you'd jump on that opportunity. No matter. It was a lie. I need you to take a certain package to Arnulf the Treasurer, a fellow residing in Gronenberg. This cargo has undoubtedly garnered some ill-intentioned eyes, which is why I need your men watching it for me. If you're interested, which you should be, let's talk numbers. Now, in this case, this isn't going to be a caravan. This is just going to be a package that we're taking on our own. So we get to travel however we want to the location. That's not a lot of money considering the difficulty. I'm still going to ask for more money. He's going to say no. I'm going to say accept, but we get an idea of where this is going to be. A day to the southwest by road. So we're kind of backtracking to towns we've already been to. But I feel like we kind of have to take this because we are really desperate for money at this stage. I'm barely able to pay my men at this rate. So I'm still going to accept it because there's a possibility we could get out of this without fighting at all. Whenever you do any of these travel contracts, there's always a possibility for that. So I accept the contract. All right. Let's, well, I didn't buy any tools, so as a matter of fact, I'm never going to fix this guy's helmet enough to make it work out. We'll do that in the future, for sure. But, yeah, we need to get tools here. We're really in not a good spot. And that's, you know, honestly, it was that one travel contract we it was an exploration contract. That one exploration contract we did put me in such a bad financial spot. So we need to go down here. It says it's a day to the southwest. I don't know how much I believe. Well, that could be a day's journey, I guess. As long as we stay on the road, which is what he said anyway, we should be alright. It's gonna be night soon, which is what it is. Now, we did see some enemy, what was it, up here? But that was a ways away now at this stage. Okay, along the road. Let's see what this is all about. As you walk along the roads, a throng of ragged-looking men speed past you. They clear off the path and jump down into an embankment and hide behind a wall of bushes. The shrubbery still swaying, another group of men soon appears. Before the first man even speaks, you already know what's coming. Apparently some laborers had agreed in union to abandon a project over what the pursuing overseers simplify as issues. They ask if you have seen these ne'er-do-wells. Now this is the thing that I haven't really talked about, how I'm going to roleplay my company. Now, I'm obviously a mercenary band and I have been asking for more money and things like that, because money is important. But I didn't say if I was going to be a good man or a bad man. And this is where we have to make that choice. So I could say they're right over there. Or we could say that we haven't seen anyone around these parts. I'm going to pick the opportunist one. I'm hoping that these people, if I help them, they'll reward me. I don't know if these guys that we're talking to right now, they would necessarily reward me. But the people that are hiding may, so let's try that. We haven't seen anyone around these parts. With your finger still pointing the wrong way, the overseers take off. Their angry barking fades into the distance. When they are gone, the laborers slowly emerge. They appear rather surprised that a sellsword didn't sell word of them into the bushes. One by one, they take off their hats and bless you for your mercy. One even calls it justice, a strange word in a mercenary's ear. While most of them make off, one man stands idly behind. He asks if maybe he can join your company if, you know, you got room for him. Well, we could always use more bodies. Whether you last long, we'll have to see. Welcome to the Cursed. I figured that might be a possibility. Now, that's more men I have to pay, unfortunately, but let's take a look at him. So, he's a farmer. He's got a pitchfork. Let's go ahead and give him a little bit better shirt than he's currently wearing. And here, have a fancy hood. So he looks like he's physically fit as far as fatigue goes. Combat stats, not too bad. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's that bad. He could be a good backup for us. And a couple different roles. So, yeah, he's fine as a backup. We don't really have the means to arm him well. But what he's got on him right now is fine. So, and we get a backup pole arm in case anything happens to the ones that we currently have. All right, well, let's continue on the road then. Now I'm going to stop back in this town, but the likelihood that the effect of the raid has ended is unlikely. So we'll probably just pass on by. Yeah. I don't think we have time to waste. Time is money for me right now, like big time. So the further we can get without having to pay my men, which at this state rate I'm paying them 158 crowns a day. And food is another concern. The more mouths I have to feed, the quicker that's going to go. So you do have to think to a certain extent when you're taking a contract, how long it's going to take you to do it, and then how much you pay your men in that time frame, and are you making a profit in that regard? In this case, we're making, what, 320 crowns? And in theory, it was 1 day's travel. So that is a little bit of profit, but not a lot. The fact that we got out without a fight, that's fine, but if we had had to fight, then it might have been a problem if we had lost many men. Okay, so Arnulf the Treasurer is waiting for you as you enter the town. He hurriedly takes the cargo off your hands. Oh, I did not think you would get here. His grubby fingers dance along the chest carrying the cargo. He turns around and barks an order to one of his men. They step forward and hand you a satchel of crowns. Crowns well deserved, I agree. Another 3 skull contract. We're not really ready for that. What we are ready for, hopefully, is some tools. Okay, these are not a bad price. What about the copper? The copper's not being sold necessarily. I like to sell them under value whenever possible. That way, if they're not being sold for much more in another town, you could still sell them without losing too much money. Nah, I think we forego that. I feel like I have to buy both of these sets of tools. But these will go fast even with that. So this is a lot of money invested for maybe not a lot of time that it's going to buy us. But we don't really have much of a choice. That's a really good price for tools. We're not likely going to see a price that good ever again. Or not for a while anyway. Alright, we still are in a situation where I think our food is going really fast. So we are going to have to buy another thing of ground grains. And our financial situation's still looking not the greatest. Okay, well, let's leave. We can't really afford much else here, so I could sell a couple things. As a matter of fact, I should sell some things. So, like, for example, this. We're not going to keep this sackcloth around, so sell that. It's only going to give us a few crowns, but every little bit helps. Let's sell this as well. We're not likely going to hold on to that. Okay. Oh, again, every little bit helps. Alright, let's leave and look at our prospects now. So we've never been to this spot. And that is a village, at least I don't think we've been here. And this should be a village that would have possible contracts for us. Now, the other thing that we may do is just start marching around in the wilderness here and try and find a camp. I think with our financial situation being what it is, that is too dangerous of a proposition. The problem is if we go here and there's no contracts, where's the next closest town? Well, we've got this town that we're just at. This is a fort. They're not going to have contracts for me. We'd have this town, which does like me. That could have some contracts. That is it, because there's forts and cities and things. So, oof. If we don't find a job in this location, we have a long march to get to Weidhof. Once we're there, we could go to this location or this location. Now, we know there's camps down here, but I think we encountered a lot of these, and we found out I might not have attacked this one, but I know I attacked this one and this one, and they were undead that I think were a little bit beyond our ability. To do this, we have to win. We have to loot it. We have to destroy it. So we have to find a location that we can actually win at. If we go down to the south, there's a number of villages down here. That's a village. That's a village. And these are all places we'd have to go to do that other mission that we have a choice of. So I feel like the right move is to go down here to Wickstadt. Alright, well, I'm just not a big fan of our current financial situation, but it is what it is, so let's get going. The big problem is we don't have a lot of money and we also don't have a lot of food, and both of those things are going to dwindle. As a matter of fact, we cannot pay my men anymore, so I have to immediately find a contract here. And if it comes down to it and I have to do a 3-skull contract, then I have to do a 3-skull contract, and that's just going to be what it is. If we come here and there's no contracts, well then we are screwed, because I can't pay my men for another day. This is a situation where we need a lot of back-to-back contracts, and we need them to pay well. Otherwise, we're in trouble. And hopefully this is not a contract that's going to take me a lot of time to do. Alright, well, we have 3 2-skull contracts, so maybe my prayers are answered in this location. We have to make sure we're picking something, though, that doesn't take a lot of time to do, because I can't pay my men another day. So, really a little sketchy situation that we're in. But I think we're going to go ahead and bring this video to a close. We'll go ahead and explore those 3 contracts in the next video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.